Everyone told me it couldn't be done, but I'm proving them wrong. When I first mentioned my plan to create a thriving pepper bed without ever touching a shovel, fellow gardeners looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Yet here I am, sharing the remarkable journey of my no-dig pepper bed transformation, a gardening experiment that has completely revolutionized how I approach growing peppers. This isn't just another trendy gardening technique, it's a game-changing method that promises healthier soil, abundant harvests, and significantly less back-breaking work. The digging dilemma: why I chose no-dig. After 20 years of traditional gardening, my back was telling a different story than my passion. Every spring brought the familiar ritual of double-digging beds, breaking up compacted soil and fighting an endless battle against weeds that seemed to multiply overnight. The physical toll was becoming unbearable, but more importantly, I began questioning whether all that digging was actually helping or harming my soil ecosystem. The no-dig method represents a fundamental shift in how we think about soil health and plant nutrition. Instead of disrupting the intricate web of beneficial microorganisms, fungi, and earthworms that naturally occur in healthy soil, this approach works with nature's existing systems. The concept is elegantly simple: build up rather than dig down, creating layers of organic matter that decompose naturally while suppressing weeds and retaining moisture. What drew me specifically to trying this with peppers was their reputation as heavy feeders that thrive in warm, well-draining soil rich in organic matter. Traditional pepper cultivation often requires extensive soil preparation, regular cultivation to prevent weeds, and frequent watering due to poor moisture retention in disturbed soil. I hypothesized that a well-constructed no-dig bed could address all these challenges while reducing my workload by at least 70%. Building the foundation of my no-dig pepper bed really starts with a layer-by-layer approach. The construction began in early March, which gives those layers plenty of time to settle in and start breaking down before I even think about planting. I kicked things off with a base layer of cardboard, covering a 4-by-8 foot area where grass and weeds used to grow. This cardboard acts as a natural weed barrier. It'll eventually decompose, sure, but not before it smothers the existing vegetation and keeps those pesky weed seeds from sprouting. Now the real magic, at least in my experience, happens in the layering system I came up with after plenty of research and, well, a bit of trial and error. Right on top of that cardboard, I spread out a 4-inch layer of coarse organic matter. That's a mix of aged wood chips, dried leaves I saved from the previous fall, and some partially decomposed brush clippings. This layer is important because it creates little air pockets, super helpful for drainage, and it supplies long-term carbon to the soil ecosystem. Next up, I added a 3-inch layer of kitchen compost I'd been working on all winter mixed together with some good, well-aged cow manure. This layer is packed with nitrogen, which helps feed the carbon-rich material below and gives a quick nutritional boost to the pepper plants once they go in. To finish off the bed, I topped everything with 2 inches of my best homemade compost, making a planting medium that, honestly, could give any commercial potting mix a run for its money. The final touch was a light mulch layer of straw, which I would pull back for planting but would help retain moisture and continue suppressing weeds throughout the growing season. The total height of my bed was approximately 10 inches, creating excellent drainage while maintaining the moisture retention that peppers love. For this experiment, I chose 6 varieties of peppers that would give me a comprehensive picture of how different types respond to the no-dig method. I included 2 sweet bell pepper varieties, a classic California wonder, and an exotic purple beauty called Purple Star. For hot peppers, I selected jalapenos for their reliable production, Hungarian hot wax for their unique flavor profile, and 2 specialty varieties, fish peppers for their distinctive appearance, and chocolate habaneros for serious heat. Planting in the no-dig bed felt almost luxurious compared to my usual spring routine. Instead of wrestling with compacted soil and fighting to create proper planting holes, I simply pulled back the straw mulch and used my hands to create perfect planting pockets in the soft, rich compost layer. The pepper transplants nestled into their new homes with minimal root disturbance, and I could immediately see how the loose, organic rich medium would encourage rapid root establishment. So each plant was positioned with adequate spacing, about 18 inches between them, to ensure good air circulation and, prevent competition. I went ahead and installed simple tomato cages at planting time. I knew that the loose soil structure might not provide the same anchoring stability as traditional compacted soil for support stakes driven in later. Within the first, 2 weeks, the differences between my no-dig peppers and those planted in traditionally prepared beds became pretty apparent. The no-dig plants showed significantly less transplant shock, with new growth appearing almost immediately, while the conventional plantings took nearly a week longer to establish. The moisture retention in the no-dig bed was, remarkable. While I was watering my traditional pepper beds every other day during a particularly dry May, the no-dig bed retained moisture for 4 to 5 days between waterings. When I did water, the bed absorbed moisture evenly without runoff, which indicated excellent soil structure and water-holding capacity. Perhaps most surprising was the complete absence of weeds. While my traditional beds required weekly cultivation and hand weeding, the no-dig bed remained virtually weed-free throughout the entire growing season. The few weeds that did appear pulled easily from the loose surface layer, requiring minimal effort to maintain a clean growing environment. The pepper plants themselves grew with unusual vigor. By mid-June they were noticeably larger and more robust than their traditionally grown counterparts. The plants showed deep green foliage, strong stem development, and began flowering 2 weeks earlier than expected. I attributed this accelerated growth to the rich organic matter constantly releasing nutrients as it decomposed, creating a slow-release fertilizer system that fed the plants continuously. The harvest results exceeded my most optimistic expectations. The bell peppers produced fruit that were not only larger than those from my traditional beds, but also had thicker walls and more intense flavor. The California Wonder plants each produced 12 to 15 full-sized peppers, compared to the typical 8 to 10 I usually harvested. The hot pepper varieties showed even more dramatic improvements. The jalapeno plants became absolute powerhouses, producing over 60 peppers per plant throughout the season. The Hungarian hot wax peppers developed a complexity of flavor I'd never experienced before, with a perfect balance of heat and sweetness that I attributed to the steady nutrient availability and excellent moisture management. Most impressively, the specialty varieties that often struggled in my traditional beds really thrived in the no-dig environment. The fish peppers produced abundantly, and the chocolate habaneros developed their characteristic rich heat without the bitter notes that sometimes plague plants grown in stressed conditions. When I calculated the total yield from my 32-square-foot no-dig bed, I harvested 47 pounds of peppers compared to an average of 28 pounds from equivalent space in traditional beds during previous seasons. This represented a 68% increase in production from the same growing space. As the growing season progressed, I observed the no-dig bed transforming into a living ecosystem. Earthworms appeared in abundance, creating natural aeration channels and leaving behind nutrient-rich castings. Beneficial insects seemed drawn to the diverse microbiology, and I noticed fewer pest problems than in my traditionally managed beds. The soil structure continued improving throughout the season. By harvest time, the original cardboard layer had completely decomposed, leaving behind incredibly rich, dark soil that crumbled perfectly in my hands. The organic matter had broken down into stable humus while maintaining excellent drainage and water retention characteristics. Perhaps most valuable was the dramatic reduction in labor. Beyond the initial construction and planting, the no-dig bed required virtually no maintenance. I eliminated weekly cultivation, reduced watering frequency by 60%, and spent zero time weeding. The time savings allowed me to focus on other aspects of my garden while still achieving superior results. The economic benefits were equally compelling. While the initial investment in organic matter was higher than simply buying a bag of fertilizer, the improved yields more than compensated for the cost. Additionally, the ongoing expense of fertilizers, herbicides, and frequent watering was essentially eliminated. Many gardeners express concern about the height of no-dig beds, and whether plants will receive adequate nutrition without traditional fertilization. My experience demonstrated that properly constructed beds actually provide superior nutrition through the continuous decomposition of organic matter. The elevated structure improved drainage in my clay-heavy soil while maintaining moisture better than amended traditional beds. You know, some folks worry about pest issues in organic-rich environments, but honestly, I found the opposite to be true. The healthy soil ecosystem attracted beneficial predators and parasites that naturally controlled pest populations. Plus, the diverse microbiology just seemed to boost plant immunity, resulting in healthier plants that were naturally more resistant to diseases and pests. Cost concerns are valid, but they can be a bit misleading when you look at the long-term picture. While the initial investment in organic matter is higher than conventional soil amendments, the system really becomes largely self-sustaining. Each year, I simply add a fresh layer of compost and mulch, which means I can skip fertilizers, pesticides, and those frequent soil amendments. The success of my pepper bed experiment has honestly inspired me to gradually transition my entire garden to no-dig methods. Right now, I'm constructing no-dig beds for tomatoes, herbs, and even experimenting with adaptations for root vegetables. Each crop, of course, presents unique challenges and opportunities to refine the technique. The principles underlying no-dig gardening align perfectly with sustainable agriculture practices. By working with natural soil processes, rather than against them, we create resilient growing systems that improve over time rather than depleting soil resources. This approach particularly benefits gardeners dealing with poor soil conditions, physical limitations, or, time constraints. For fellow gardeners considering this transition, I recommend starting small with a single bed to gain confidence and experience. Choose crops that respond well to rich organic conditions. Peppers, tomatoes, leafy greens, and herbs are excellent beginning choices, and document your results carefully, comparing yields, plant health, and labor requirements to your traditional methods. The no-dig approach represents more than just a gardening technique. It's a philosophy that recognizes gardening as partnership with natural systems rather than domination over them. My pepper bed transformation experiment proved that we can achieve superior results while working less, spending less, and creating healthier growing environments for both plants and beneficial organisms. As I plan next season's garden, I'm excited to expand this experiment and continue documenting the long-term benefits of no-dig gardening. The journey has transformed not only how I garden, but how I think about the relationship between human intervention and natural processes in creating abundant, sustainable food production. Ready to start your own no-dig transformation? Subscribe to Smart Garden for more innovative gardening experiments and share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to work smarter, not harder. Your back and your peppers will thank you. And hey, don't forget to share your own no-dig successes in the comments below.